For months, the dynamics between Indiana Fever guard Angel Reese and Chicago Sky forward Angel Reese have dominated headlines. A recent Sky and Fever matchup in Indianapolis on May 17 reignited the discourse surrounding both players after a flagrant foul by Clark sent Reese tumbling to the floor. In the days since the incident, both Clark and Reese have seemingly moved on. Still, it's been hard to ignore that the reverberations around the moment and how much it has impacted conversations about both players and the WNBA. In a Q&A-style discussion, For the Win's Megan Hall and Corey Woodruff recently answered several important questions surrounding Clark and Reese, their respective teams and the WNBA's role throughout their careers and for the foreseeable future. Here are 5 questions worth asking about how the latest Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese tension should be handled. The history between the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky suggests it's a rivalry, but the discourse surrounding the teams, specifically Clark and Reese, is far beyond basketball. It's time that we stop deluding ourselves into thinking that their matchups stay within the confines of the hardwood. Before Clark joined Indianapolis and Reese landed in Chicago, a landscape-shifting moment, the wave during the 2023 NCAA tournament, emboldened groups of humans who felt the need to police how women athletes show up in their respective fields. When Clark and Reese's massive stardom carried over to the WNBA, so did the willfully ignorant narratives, hidden behind sports fandom and passion. The chatter reverberates and has resulted in months-long crusades of unnerving headlines and conversations. The narratives connected to the Indiana guard and the Sky forward have unearthed the deepest parts of racism and misogyny and lost the true definition of a sports rivalry with no intent of finding it. What's more, at the current juncture, calling it a rivalry downplays the journey and experience of each player, and it absolves many entities, fans and media alike, of the responsibility to call out what has clearly been ongoing, harmful discourse when presented with the opportunity. Corey, rivalries typically stay focused on what happens on the court, and they usually feature 2 teams with lots of history or 2 teams of similar quality duking it out regularly in marquee matchups. At least right now, Fever Sky is not a rivalry in the classic sense. The Fever are 4-1 against the Sky since Clark joined Indiana and Reese joined Chicago. While last season's games were mostly competitive, the latest edition was a 93-58 rout in the Fever's favor. The intense public interest in the Clark-Reese dynamic and possibility of a rivalry between the 2 players does not mean that these 2 teams have a rivalry. Just from a pure sporting perspective, this is just a conference matchup with 2 very popular players with history right now. It's always possible it grows beyond that, but that's a ways away.